Hi everybody, welcome back to my solo wargaming project, Rome's Invasion of Hispania. In this video we're going to go over turn 3 of the first battle between the Romans and the IIcavones. If you're just joining for the first time, I suggest going back and taking a look at the first few videos. Kind of explains my methodologies and my ideas for wargaming this particular struggle. So let's get started on turn 3. All right, the Iberian order phase. Um, not looking good for the Romans. The Scutarii, where the little brown arrow is, they're charging into the 10th cohort, who's already been charged in the flank. We're using the initiative orders here to get into this combat, and the off-table units with the commander will be using their regular orders to return to the table. All right, so the Iberian commander with the 2nd Cavalry unit have come back onto the battlefield. Now I did this a little bit differently. I didn't think it would have been too fair because to bring the cavalry in right behind the Roman cohort. So what I did was I moved them. They passed their orders by enough, so I moved them to the left and then brought them onto the table to where they could be in a supporting position and not be able to directly charge into combat in the rear of this cohort, because I think that would have been a little bit cheesy. And besides that, they left the table kind of exactly where you see them at right now, where they were pushed off the table by the 1st Cavalry unit in the last video. Again, if you're just joining the first time, I really suggest going back and just, if you don't want to watch the whole thing, just kind of peruse through it. I put up a lot of notes so you don't have to hear my very monotone voice yapping at you the whole time, but you can just kind of go through it, kind of catch up and see what's going on. All right, well, the 10th cohort could not hold out any longer, and with overwhelming force, they really just, it would have been a miracle for them to hang in there this turn. Well, anyway, that brings us to the point where the Iberians have, at this point, have destroyed 1 cavalry unit and 1 cohort. That was their objective in this particular battle, as this is an ambush scenario, and they have only 1 division where the Romans have access to a complete army with 3 divisions, but yet they were strung out and they were separated by the bridge. Again, please go back and check the previous videos that explain all that. So anyway, so they've been destroyed. The with the 10th being gone, the Iberians kind of reform and maneuver and open up their formation. And then the Iberian combat phase, the 9th cohort, which is the one with the commander in it, continues to struggle. And it's so funny that I played my Spanish against a lot of troops and stuff, and they never seem to do this well. Right now, they've been holding this full force cohort all the way. You know, the regular standard size unit. They've been holding it in place this entire time. But in this part of the combat phase, their skirmishers broke. They lost the combat. The skirmishers part broke, but the Scutarii themselves give ground in good order. But the Romans maneuver to maintain contact for the next combat phase. All right, so that brought us to the end of the Iberian phase. There wasn't much for them to do. The Roman order phase, the center division, which has been separated by the river with only 1 cohort kind of still on the bridge, has finally passed their orders by enough to where they can get a unit across the bridge to help with the struggle. So this is a turning point in the game. We'll see how this all plays out. All right. So in the Roman combat phase, the ninth cohort and those Scutarii, I mean, they've just been going at it this entire time, and finally they both got to the point where in this round they both become shaken, they both give ground, and it's like one of those things like, we've all had enough. We're just gonna separate now and go our separate ways. We've had enough. All right, that brought us to the end of the Roman combat phase. This is the final disposition. I took it from kind of an angle so you could get where the bridge is in relationship to all the other units on the table. Since the Iberians had met their objectives, I rolled a dice to see if they would continue to struggle to try to get, a little bit more damage onto the Romans, but they rolled and did not decide to continue the struggle. And they were going to take their victory where they could, and then they're going to flee off the table. Since the center division is beginning to come onto the battlefield, they felt like they had done enough to let the Romans know that they weren't going to be a pushover. Again, for anybody that's just showing up for the first time, please look at the previous videos. It gives a greater explanation to the methods of my madness. And if you would like, please subscribe. If you like this kind of old school battle report sort of thing, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd rather, different sort of explanation. If you want me to put down the mathematical stuff on the sides where I roll the dice and show, because I write all the notes down. I don't know if people would want to take the time to sit there and go through all the math and everything. But the thing is, it's been a lot of fun to do. If you'd like, please subscribe. We'll be getting into the next battle, and like I said, all the damage taken by the Romans this turn will transfer over to the next battle. The Iberians will be, since it's their home territory, they'll be able to replace their forces. So I'm anxious to see what I roll up for the next sort of engagement, because in the last video I showed a list of the different types of engagements that I'm going to employ in this particular territory, and I'm going to get to that, and we'll start working on that next game and the next video. So everybody stay safe, stay well, and I will see you next time.